Right, so what I've been working on this evening is in my application here on the right, you can see that I have just a number of cylinders as they were displayed on the documentation from Angling and Water. I just estimated there's 8 cylinders here. I put them about 6 meters apart. They're 12 meters in diameter and 26 meters tall. And one of those cylinders I've just copied 8 times out, and that's what you see in this here model. I'm going to model the site to much greater detail, but I just wanted to show you what this would then look like on the site. Also, keep in mind that I have tried to trace out the site here that you can see within these tree lines, where basically all the structures are, and I've outlined that, approximated that on top of the satellite map here on the left. So you can just see here on the left the satellite map, and I have outlined that, and when I click on this site here, you can see that's approximately 30 hectares. This is not an exact science, the lines might be slightly out, but it's approximately 30 hectares. Quite a lot larger than the 22 hectares that were originally told that the site might be. Of course, that is approximately the same site as the original current Milton sewage works, wastewater treatment plant. For comparison, the outline of Horningsea, ignoring River Meadow here, the outline of the sort of the residential area of Horningsea is 25 hectares. So the site that is proposed is actually larger. The site for the actual entire sewage works is larger by 5 hectares. And a hectare is 100 by 100 meters. So if you think about the size of a hectare as approximately 2 football pitches, then you can imagine that 5 hectares is 10 football pitches. That's approximately the size of the site. A football pitch being measured as 100 by 50 meters. Some football pitches are a bit bigger, they're 100 by 75, but 100 by 50 is quite a normal size for a football pitch. If you looked at like an amateur club, for example. I guess we could just quickly go over to Histon here and look at some of their football pitches. Where are they? If only I knew. Here we go. So yeah, there's a football pitch, and you can see if we were to measure that, then we can go trace the outlines of the football pitch here, and that will measure in hectares 0.8 and in square meters 8,000 square meters. So this is actually a 75 by 100 meter football pitch. This is slightly bigger. This is 3/4 of a hectare, and you can see that is approximately 3/4 of a hectare. Okay, so that's the size of the site compared to the entire conurbation of Horningsea. Interesting. So what do we know? We know that there are some pylons here. Pylons are approximately 20 meters tall. You can see them on the map right there. I've traced out in blue where the actual electricity lines run. That was a little bit wonky. I'm not sure I got that pylon quite right. They tend to move in straight lines. And what you'll see here, I have placed the cylinders that I created, the digester towers that I've created, and I've placed them in the field approximately where they show here. It's very approximate. They come out a lot smaller actually than they are shown here on the drawing, which makes me think that when we look at the actual Milton site, you can see those these big cylinders here are quite a lot bigger than the ones that I've drawn. So it could be that when they say a 26-meter digester tower, it could be that one of these is actually 26 meter, and because the current ones are dug into the ground, they don't actually stand out as much as the new ones would, which are said to be 26 meters in height. So what does that look like? Well, if you are stood on, let's say, I believe this is the Bridge of Reeds, High Ditch Road, and you can take a lovely walk here with your dog around the perimeter. If we were to stand on this bridge, then we can see, let me see if I can make this work. You can see the landscape here. Of course, the bridge would normally go across, but the engine here, the drawing engine can't quite figure it out, so we'll have to go by these mounds where the bridge actually is supported by some earthworks. You can see that, you know, these towers are visible from the road, quite visible from the road. They are tall. In fact, 26 meters is about 2.5 times taller than Horningsea Church. So that's the view from over there. Then what would the view be from, let's say, the off-ramp to Horningsea in easterly direction, which is right here. Biggin Abbey is in the background there, and you can see that if we come off the road here, that the towers are very prominent. Keeping in mind that this distance is quite a long way away. I mean, let's just measure how far these towers are from the off-ramp there. So I'll just take a little measurement here, and we can see that if I'm parked up there, that is a good 930 meters away. So that is about 60% of a mile, a little over half a mile. Half a mile would be 800 meters, right? So the perimeter of the site is about half a mile away, and then a bit more. So nearly a kilometer away, and they're still very prominent when you look at these from the top of the off-ramp here. Look at that. You can see that well above the horizon. I mean, this is nearly as if, you know, you will. It's more prominent than a park of windmills, I would say. And I haven't drawn the whole site yet. It'd be great to understand what the whole site would look like. So that's what it looks like from the off-ramp. Now, what does it look like from Horningsea Village? You know, can you see this from the edge of the village? You might not be able to see past one of these trees here, but look, we're at the south edge of the village. This is where people come into the village. You've got the Scottsdale's Garden Centre right there, and I will just see that I zoom in and stand on the corner of this field, and there they are. And because Cambridgeshire is such a flat landscape, they're really prominent structures. This is quite, you know, what we'd call horizon pollution. That is incredible. So just to show what that would look like. Of course, when you go into the village and you might stand here in the middle of the high street, you may not be able to. You might glimpse them occasionally through the trees, but we would have to model the village and see what happens if you put the higher houses down here. Nevertheless, that is rather a blot on the landscape. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what that looks like. I'm going to model the entire site given some time, and once I get more information about what the construction would actually look like. But this is a great concern to the village of Horningsea, being this close and in fact this big. We could of course also take a view from Quai Mill Hotel. They are very close to the site, and taking a view from here again, you know, it's very prominent on the horizon. It's this is the Quaimil Hotel right here. So there you go. There you have it. The new Cambridge wastewater treatment plant plans, and really rather disturbingly sitting right in the middle of some lovely greenbelt land. There you have it.